Hello, beautiful listeners, welcome back to the channel. Happy to have you here again. Now sit back, relax, and let's begin today's narration.
Arya and Shubha. Part 1 Introduction, Fire and Jasmine. Malaysia's skies always seemed heavier over Arya Singh's bungalow, as if the clouds themselves feared her. She was the only daughter of Rajveer Singh, India's most elusive mafia mastermind, now hidden somewhere across continents. At just 22, Arya was already his successor. 28-year-old Arya, a half-American from a mother she hadn't seen in 15 years, half-Indian from a father who built an empire on betting, money laundering, and unheard powers in politics, movies, hotels, banking, cricket, IPL franchises. Arya walked with the quiet authority of someone who knew the world bent for her. Tall, sharp-eyed, perfectly dressed, she moved like a storm, wrapped in silk. Her bungalow near Kuala Lumpur was guarded by women trained in every martial art possible, and a few male guards she kept only for heavy labor. Never trust, never closeness. Girls were her weakness. Every night a new girl from various countries, medically checked, background verified, untouched, came at her hotel room with full security check. Arya didn't know why. Perhaps loneliness, perhaps habit, perhaps the hollow in her chest of not seeing her parents from decades. Hundreds of girls, but none touched her heart. She was rough, never smiled, never fell in love with anyone in her life. Those girls came with acceptance. Not forced, they did their jobs in the night and left with huge amount to keep silent on what happened, and later were given good jobs or modeling or movie offers in their countries. But everything in her life changed the morning she saw Shubha. Part 2. The First Glance. Tourists filled the Batu Cave steps, clicking photos, panting, admiring the golden Murugan statue. Among them, a simple Indian girl stood out, not by glamour, but by innocence. Shubha, 23-year graduate working in the sales department of insurance company, from a traditional family in Lucknow, had arrived in Malaysia as free trip and 10 days training arranged from her company for achieving target of sales that year. Her colorful dupatta and long, bouncy hair fluttered in the wind as she looked up at the limestone giants with childlike wonder. She wore yellow chudidar and colorful dupatta, fair and beautiful with perfect figure, soft pink lips, no makeup, had innocent eyes. Arya came there for hunting an Indian mafia man, and her guards caught him and took information about his next missions. She was going back to her office, and her eyes caught a girl in the group of Indian tourists. It was Shubha. Arya stopped mid-step. Something inside her softened. Who is she? Arya asked, without taking her eyes off the girl. One of her female guards immediately moved. Within few minutes, Arya had Shubha's entire background, her social media, family values, job, her quiet personality, her kindness, her dreams. She's clean, from an Indian traditional family. No relationships, the guard reported. Arya's lips curled slightly. Perfect. When Arya's guard approached her, something unexpected happened. Shubha stepped back, politely. Firmly. Sorry, I don't talk to strangers, she said, her voice soft but steady. Arya wasn't used to this. Girls either feared her or fell for her. No one refused her. And that refusal hit deeper than she expected. Part 3. The Pursuit. Over the next 2 days, Arya kept appearing in places Shubha visited. Training, cafes, malls, tourist spots. Not stalking, just monitoring, protecting, understanding. Shubha and her colleagues noticed her. Shubha first feared to talk to her. Arya had bolder presence. Well-dressed in suits, smelled wonderful. She had long, bouncy hair, good-looking, rich. Shubha's all colleagues loved her personality. Shubha felt awkward and finally confronted her outside a food court. "Why are you following me?" she asked. Arya inhaled slowly. "Because I want to know you." Shubha shook her head. "People like you don't want to know. You want to take." "Your guards has already asked me about what you want from me. I don't belong to your world. I am from a very traditional family and will never entertain such things. Look, I beg you, please stop following me. Let me finish my trip peacefully, and I will be going back to India after 2 days. This time, Arya had no answer. The truth hurt. No one rejected her earlier. For the first time in her life, Arya didn't want a girl for a night. She wanted something she couldn't name. Part 4. The Attack. The next day, it was late evening when it happened. Shubha had just stepped out of a restaurant parking near Kuala Lumpur city center when she saw Arya walking across the road, holding a bouquet toward her to have a final talk. A black SUV screeched around the corner. Windows rolled down. Guns flashed. Shubha didn't think. She ran. She pushed Arya hard, so hard that both of them fell behind a pillar as bullets shattered the parking basement. Arya's guards responded instantly. Within seconds, the shooters vanished. But Arya could only stare at Shubha, stunned. For the first time, Arya loved a girl's touch. She made love with plenty of girls, but this spark never felt with anybody. Shubha closed her ears and hid her face in Arya's chest. Arya held her waist, kept her close. Her heartbeats increased. She loved the scent of Shubha. Her soft brown hair touched her chin and brought butterflies in her stomach. Within a couple of minutes, the SUV drove away, and police arrived at the place. They asked Arya's guards about the attack and left from there to follow SUV. Arya stood behind the pillar, experiencing the new feeling. No girl had ever protected her. "You saved my life," Arya mumbled. Shubha was trembling. I don't know why. I just reacted." Arya took her hand. "Come with me. You're not safe now." Something in her touch felt sincere. Not commanding, not entitled, just protective. Shubha nodded and followed her. Shubha's colleagues saw all that silently hiding inside the mall parking. Shubha sent text to them saying, "Don't worry, I will be back soon." Part 5. A New World. The car stopped in front of the bungalow. Arya's mansion was like a castle. Marble floors, glass walls, indoor garden, guards everywhere. Shubha felt overwhelmed, but also strangely safe. Shubha had a flight back to home next day, but the threats were everywhere. The Mafia informer whom Arya caught the other day at Batu Caves passed information about Arya and also told the opposite gang about Shubha, whom Arya was staring during the talk, and also sent her guards to know about her and also followed her everywhere in next 2 days. Shubha had parents who were teachers in Lucknow government school and younger sister who went to college. It was impossible to go out of the bungalow for few more days until the police or Arya's gang catch the informer and people behind the attack. Shubha called her family and informed about her safety to them. They were worried for her. Arya's people assured for Shubha's safety to her parents and also kept watch on them so that nobody harms them by keeping private security guards to check on them. Days passed. Shubha observed Arya's work, behavior, and how caring she was to assure safety to her and her family back in India. Arya stopped going to hotel to be with new girls every night. She stayed at home. Shubha observed that she wakes up early and does martial arts training, then takes bath, get ready, and start her day early in the morning, as she has contacts with 200+ countries. Her breakfast, lunch, and snacks, everything goes on with work. Arya personally ensured Shubha's safety, meals, comfort. She would sit with her during dinners, offer her warm tea at night if she is awake, walk her through her garden, show her the view of Kuala Lumpur skyline from her rooftop. Shubha saw a new Arya, calm, thoughtful, lonely. One night, while walking in the rooftop garden, Shubha finally asked, "Why did those men shoot you?" Arya sighed. "When you live in my world, death is always around the corner." "Don't worry, I will send you safely to your home and move your family to some safe place. Your parents' jobs, your job, and your sister's college, everything will be taken care. You shouldn't be part of this. You didn't choose your world, Shubha asked softly. Maybe I didn't, but it is my destiny. I never felt anything for being in this world, Arya whispered. Have you ever thought of coming out of it? Shubha asked. No, this has everything. Class, money, power. Why would anyone wish to come out of it? Arya said. But this threat? Shubha asked. Living 100 years fearing everything and struggling to earn one-time food, dying by paying EMI, bills, installment, with no lifestyle, not seeing the world is better, or enjoying this richness, traveling the world, live wherever you wish, eat and take whatever you like is good, Arya asked. What about looting people's money? Shubha asked. Shubha, whether in my business or my personal life, I have never forced anyone into anything, Arya said calmly, without getting angry for her questions. With a pause, she continued. People burdened with bills and EMIs, yet spending just for the thrill, for the luxury. They buy iPhones while earning only a few thousand a month, just to feel noticed. They wear expensive clothes, buy expensive cars on EMI, only to impress others. They watch and bet on sports by choice, worship their favorite athletes. They adore movies about mafia and smuggling, glorify violence on screen, but rarely value meaningful cinema. Books aren't read anymore. They're just props for social media pictures. Everything today has become a performance, pure show-off. Not only that, people knowingly elect corrupt politicians from decades and still vote for them. They watch movies even when they know those stars live extravagant lives funded by the public. Everyone pays willingly. They create their own idols, movie stars, politicians, cricketers, and brands. They make them rich, worship them, and keep feeding that world. I only step in to sell what they themselves made powerful. Politics, cricket, movies, and brands. That's how my business runs. And even the girls I've been with, none were forced. They came willingly, seeking jobs, modeling opportunities, or a doorway into the film world. Shubha's heart kicked. My God, such a meaningful speech. I never thought you will be such a thinker. I read good books, Arya said. Let me guess, by creating all this, you don't watch movies and matches or support any political parties, Shubha said. Arya looked into her eyes. No, they make movies and play matches. Politicians give speeches, which me or other rich magnates order them. Why would I waste my precious time on them, she said. I never thought like you before. Although, I never watched such violent movies, and never saw any match. Not interested in politics. My world is my family and my values. I visit temples, and pray God to be healthy and happy, that's it, Shubha said. I know. Before talking to you, I've known everything about you, Arya said. I heard you used to be with new girl every night. But ever since I'm here, I have never seen you going out with anyone, Shubha asked. Yes, I've been with many girls, but after meeting you, I haven't touched anyone. I liked you at the very first sight, but the day you said you are not interested in me, I came to wish you best for your future with a bouquet that day, and all this happened. Arya said. Shubha's lips parted, shocked. Why me? I don't know. After seeing you, I felt I don't want anyone else. Arya replied, staring at her. Her voice trembled for the first time in her life. Shubha observed her softness. Somewhere deep in her heart, she liked Arya and felt shy. But don't worry, once all this is settled, I will send you back safely, and will never come back in your life as you said earlier, Arya said. Shubha always wanted to go back to home, but when Arya said that line, she did not like it. Heart 6. Walls break. Shubha had always lived a disciplined, reserved life. She wasn't used to danger, power, or luxury. But she found herself drawn to Arya's vulnerability, the softness she hid under her iron armor. Sometimes she would catch Arya staring at her, with a kind of longing she didn't understand. Sometimes Arya's hand would brush hers during walk in the garden, or having dinner, sending sparks through her. Sometimes Arya would walk away when Shubha smiled, like she couldn't handle the warmth. Slowly, Shubha found her own heart betraying her. Shubha never liked any boy or girl in her 23 years. For the first time, she was getting attracted to someone not for money or power she had, but for the honesty and loneliness she has in her heart. Shubha asked, "Why you hate men? Is that the reason why you like girls?" "I like girls because that's how I am built from the beginning. I always felt girls attractive. No men in the world attracted me in 200 plus countries. I don't hate men. I hate patriarchy of the society, which glorify men and suppress the achievements of women. So only I support women in my company," she said. Shubha felt how she had bad impression of Arya in the first look, and she is so down-to-earth person with such a great ideology. Part 7, The Confession. It was almost 20 days Shubha was there. The night was quiet, rain tapping against the windows, the scent of jasmine filling the glass hallway. Shubha entered Arya's study to keep the book that she had taken to read, but stopped when she saw Arya staring at her mother's old photograph. "Do you miss her?" Shubha asked gently. Arya nodded once. 15 years, no embrace, no voice. Just memories. Shubha put the book on table and placed her hand over Arya's. "May I ask why she left you?" she asked. Arya closed her eyes, the weight of old memories pressing down. "She hated my father's world, the danger, the dirt of it. So she left us. My father loved me too much to let her take me along. His business ran on drugs and weapons, something I could never accept. And the day I took control, I shut all of it down. No drugs, no arms, not under my name." She exhaled, voice trembling. "So he left too. Now he runs that part of the empire alone, with his own men. Many people misunderstand my business with my father's, so try to attack me. Just like the one who attacked a few days ago." Shubha stepped closer. "Arya, being with you all these days changed my opinion about you, which I had at the first day I met you." Arya looked at her for the first time. A smile appeared on her face. "Today, I'm missing my mom very much." "Why? Is it her birthday?" Shubha asked. Arya stared at her, her eyes wet. "Good news for you. The informer and his gang is caught. Your family is also safe, and no need to change yours or their jobs and place. You can go back to India tomorrow. Pack your bags," she said with a fake smile that clearly said she doesn't want her to go. Shubha's heart stopped hearing that. She understood why Arya was missing her mother that day. She had to let go Shubha the very next day. Arya felt that warmth of family when Shubha was around, which she felt being with her mother. Surprisingly, even Shubha didn't wish to go back. She loved her world back in India, her parents, sister, and her small job of insurance. Everything was perfect in her life. Her parents were also open-minded and never asked her to marry a guy and build family. They gave the independence to both daughters to live life on their own, but staying in the culture. Shubha took a long breath and asked, "Do you still like me?" Arya wondered on her question. She said no. Shubha's heart dropped hearing that. She stood still. Arya said, "Shubha, like is small word. I think I'm in love with you." Shubha's heart fluttered like a trapped bird. Trembling, she looked down. "Will you leave me as well like you did with other girls? After you get what you wanted from me?" With a fear, she asked. "I left searching for girls the first day I saw you." "You think I will ever leave you for new girl?" Arya asked. Shyly, Shubha looked down. "Arya, I'm falling for you too." Arya wondered, stood still, staring at her. "Can you come with me to India? I want my parents to see you," Shubha asked without waiting for Arya's reply. Arya thought about it and said, "I am not allowed in India for my father's deeds." Oh, Shubha was sad hearing that. She called her parents and told them about Arya. Her parents disagreed for the first time, and she called them again and said, "Mom, Dad, if you trust your upbringing and my decisions, Then please trust this decision as well. I like Arya and want to be with her, she said. Arya looked at her boldness. Part 8. Love blooms. They did not touch each other for days after confessing the love. Shubha wanted to convince her parents and then only start a life with Arya. She went to India and spoke to her parents. Arya's 2 guards accompanied her back in India. With a week of convincing, her parents said, "We never forced both of you for anything. If you chose this path, then well and good. Go ahead and live your life as you wish." Shubha came back to Arya. Even after coming back, Arya never touched her. Shubha loved each and everything about Arya. For Shubha, it was all new. She was shy about taking any step ahead, and Arya respected that completely and gave her time. After meeting Shubha, Arya never touched another girl, something unimaginable for the woman who once depended on physical intimacy to fill the emptiness inside her. But for Shubha, she waited patiently. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and Arya never crossed a boundary. Their world was simple. Shared meals, quiet walks, shy stares, reading books, smiles, hand-holding, and evenings spent reading together. Arya handled her vast business from her home office during the day, but every evening, without fail, she returned to Shubha. Not out of habit, out of choice. Devotion and softness she had never felt for anyone before. By this time, all the guards and servants admired Shubha, not because their boss loved her, but because of her soft, kind nature. Shubha got close with everyone in the house and realized how good is Arya from inside. She provided free education for the poor, opened many charities for free health and education for the needy ones in various countries. She spent 50% of her illegal money on good purpose. She went to school and college in New Zealand, away from her father's business, and then handled his business from Malaysia. Shubha was impressed by her nature and felt proud to fall in love with such a golden heart person. One night, Shubha came to Arya's room as she was scared of thunderstorm outside. Even after closing the soundproof windows, she was afraid to see the sharp lightning. Arya was checking her tablet, lying on her bed. With sudden appearance of Shubha, she got surprised. Arya was never afraid of thunderstorms. She experienced the tsunami in Singapore years ago when she was a child, and nothing scared her in the world. Shubha asked her to sleep with her, but before Arya say something, the thunderstorm stricken, and Shubha instantly wrapped her arms around Arya. "Please close the window," she mumbled, hiding her face in Arya's chest. Arya held her as if protecting the last precious thing in her world. Not dominance, not lust, just love. Arya closed the window, and that night, they didn't make love immediately. Arya didn't even try. Instead, they sat for hours, holding hands, talking, sharing fears, laughing softly under the dim lamp. Shubha shared her college days and fun with her family. Arya sat with a smile, listening to her as if a melodious music. For the first time in her life, Arya felt whole. She stared at her with sparkling eyes. Shubha shyly looked down and said, "Stop staring me. I feel millions of butterflies inside when you look at me like this." Arya smiled and held her hand, saying, "When you shy like this, I feel those butterflies in me." They slept cuddling each other for the first time. Nothing more than that happened that night. Next morning, when Shubha woke up on the bed of Arya, she recalled previous night smiles, stories, stares, and that instant hug. The touch of Arya's body. She felt shy. Arya was already awake. She came out in bathrobe, wiping her hair. "You are up?" she asked, wiping her hair. Shubha couldn't stare at Arya, as she looked attractive in her bathrobe and wet hair. Something charismatic hit Shubha about Arya. Shyly and softly, she said, "Thank you for comforting me last night." Arya held her hand and said, "Thank you for trusting me and coming to my room when you were uncomfortable. Shubha looked into Arya's eyes, and mesmerized by her sharp stare, her heartbeats raised with her closeness. Butterflies felt in stomach. For the first time, she desired to get close to Arya and experience the touch, kiss, and making love with Arya. She got many intimate thoughts in those few seconds of hand-holding. Gazed at her morning beauty, she felt like to kiss her soft, petal-like lips. She understood that Shubha's heart is also melting for her. She waved her hand in front of her and asked, "Hey, are you okay?" Shubha came out of her thoughts and ran out of the room, shyly, and closed the door behind her. With heavy breaths, blushing, she pat her forehead for all those thoughts. Arya wondered on her behavior. Smiling, she got dressed for office and went down to attend the meetings with her gang. She has gone out for some other meetings with business delegates. Later, came back to the bungalow and went directly to the office, where she held meeting with some of political parties of different countries on video call. Later, she came for dinner with Shubha. While having dinner, Shubha asked, "You didn't have time for evening walk today?" Arya asked, "I was busy. Did you miss me?" Shyly, Shubha looked down. Shubha was tensed how to express her changed feelings to Arya. But Arya had already sensed her feelings. That night, she had already asked the servants to decorate her bedroom as honeymoon suite with scented candles and flowers. She asked Shubha to come to her room that night as well, since it would be thunderstorms that night too. Shyly, Shubha agreed, as she also wanted the same thing. When Shubha entered her room, she was surprised to see the flowers everywhere and aroma of beautiful scented candles. Shyly, she didn't step ahead. Smiling, Arya came close to her. Giving her hand, she walked inside and mumbled, "I know how you are feeling about me. I sensed that in the morning. I arranged all this to make our first time special and beautiful. But no hurry. If you still want to take time, I will accept that with all my heart." She smiled. Shubha stared at Arya and admired her patience. She instantly hugged her and whispered, "How long will you wait? I'm sorry. I didn't know you love me so much that still you are respecting my feelings and ready to wait." Smiling, Arya hugged her back, surrounding her hands around her waist. That slow, beautiful touch was mesmerizing. "I can wait for lifelong, but if you hug me like this, I may lose control. As already my heartbeats are high with your body touch," she mumbled. Shubha stepped back slightly, her cheeks warm, as she looked up at Arya, who stood there with a gentle, reassuring smile. In a trembling whisper, "This is my first time," Shubha said, slowly. Almost unsure, she leaned close and brushed her lips against Arya's. Her past held both rough desires and moments of borrowed softness, but none of it ever meant anything. But with Shubha, everything changed. She held her as if holding a delicate flower, terrified of crushing something so pure. For the first time in her life, intimacy wasn't instinct or habit. It felt like a promise. Arya gently drew Shubha into her arms, brushing soft kisses across her lips again and again. Shubha's heart raced, her breath unsteady, and she clung to Arya, holding her nightshirt, as if she never wanted to let her go. Slowly, they moved toward the bed while kissing each other, where Shubha lay back, looking up at Arya with shy, glowing eyes in the warm flicker of candlelight. Arya leaned over her, fingertips tracing Shubha's cheek as she whispered, "Shubha, will you be mine?" Shubha's pulse fluttered wildly with her intimate voice, and in a soft breath she replied, "I am all yours," she whispered. A gentle smile curved Arya's lips as she pressed tender kisses along Shubha's forehead, cheeks, lips, neck, holding her with the kind of care she had never given anyone. Her hands wandered on her soft body curves only in affection, cherishing every part of the woman she loved. Arya kissed her neck, followed by her chest, and Shubha surrendered herself to her first and forever love of life, Arya. That night, what followed between them wasn't urgency. It was closeness, trust, and a deep, delicate intimacy that felt like two souls finally finding home in each other. Their love lasted for hours, multiple times, with intimacy, patience, and dedication towards each other all night. Even for Arya, Shubha was her first and last love. Arya belonged to Shubha forever and never touched any other girl. She didn't want to. Her heart, her world, her future, all were tied to Shubha. Last part 9. A new beginning. Arya wanted a new beginning. She handed her empire to her most trusted guard, Jenny, withdrew her share of the wealth, and moved to New Zealand, where she already owned a quiet, sprawling mansion by the hills and number of luxurious cars. There she built a partnership venture in real estate and investment banking, leaving behind every dark shadow of her past. Shubha moved with her, starting a life that was both shared and independent. She worked beside Arya, not as a dependent, but as a partner, her balance, her calm, her conscience. A year later, both of them earned New Zealand citizenship, and soon after, they got married. Shubha's parents and sister flew in for the wedding, blessing them with full hearts and open arms. Arya's mother returned to her life as well, relieved and grateful that her daughter had finally chosen a path away from crime. Only Arya's father turned away, severing ties the moment Arya rejected the darker parts of his empire. But Arya accepted that loss. Some endings were necessary. In New Zealand, Arya grew into a different kind of leader, strategic, diplomatic, powerful in quieter ways. Her influence didn't fade, it transformed. Her world softened without losing its strength. For the first time, Arya believed she could build a life not on fear or control, but on love. And Shubha, who never thought of loving someone, discovered that she could love someone fierce, flawed, and extraordinary, most importantly a woman, who changed her life as much as she changed hers. Together, they created a future where love outweighed fear, where healing replaced violence, and where a mafia princess and a simple Indian girl rewrote destiny with their own hands. A world entirely their own.
If my story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support our little team, you're welcome to contribute any amount through the QR code shown in the video or the given IDs in the description. Your love means the world to us. See you in the next video.